Is it true that learning Argentinian Spanish takes years? If you have ever watched any video about Argentinian Spanish or Spanish in general, you probably already heard take many years. But how true is this? And does this apply to your case? Firstly, I want you to think about your goals. Why do you want to learn Argentinian Spanish? What's your main goal? Is it because you want to travel? Is it because you want to have communication with your girlfriend, with your partner, with your friend? Is it for business? Is it because you want to be a new resident and start living here? Is it for your family? Is it just because it's a hobby or you just love it? Why do you want to learn Argentinian Spanish? Once you know the answer and you clearly know what you want, think about the following thing. Let's say you want to travel to Buenos Aires just for 1 week or just for 1 month. Do you think that you really need 6 years just to travel around Buenos Aires? If you're not gonna talk with anybody, if you just go to your hotel and the typical touristic places, do you really think you need years just for a short trip in Buenos Aires? It is not realistic, right? It's kind of like a waste of time. Like you've been studying Spanish for many years and you have only just one goal, just spend a week in Buenos Aires. It doesn't make sense. So if this is your goal, what do you think that you still have to take years to learn Spanish? That's a wrong belief you have in your mind. If your goal is just to travel to Argentina for about a month or 2 or 3, you don't really need years to study Argentinian Spanish. You just need to learn very specific vocabulary for traveling, very specific vocabulary for your specific goal. You don't really want to talk with anybody. You don't really want to have a business in Argentina. You don't really want to make friends or a girlfriend or something like that. You just want to travel around Buenos Aires and survive there, and then you go home. So what you need is just to reach the traveler level. And the travel level can be achieved in just 3 or 4 months, more or less. It depends on how willing you are to intensively work on your Argentinian Spanish. But then, what if your goal is to be able to communicate with Argentinian people, as it can be with your girlfriend, with your husband, with your wife, with your friends, family, or something like this? Firstly, you must think what communication is for you and what you would like to be able to do with your Spanish. Because you're saying communication. Okay, how would you categorize, how would you label communication, this terminology, in a specific level? Generally, when we are talking about communication, we mean being fluent. And be fluent does not necessarily mean that you are not going to make mistakes anymore, or you will not get stuck where you're having conversation. So if your goal is communication, which means be fluent in Spanish, it certainly does take longer than just reaching the traveler level. And be fluent in Spanish or be really close to fluency in Spanish, it takes about a year or a bit more. Remember, it all depends on how willing you are to learn Argentinian Spanish. If you're willing to work every single day for over an hour, of course you will reach fluency in just a year. But then if you are not willing to do so, you cannot expect much. But it will certainly take longer for you because you are not working on this intensively, or you're not really studying or learning the right way. So that's why you have master plan or a roadmap which is proven, and you know you will get a result. So if communication is your goal, which means reach fluency, you must be willing to work on your Argentinian Spanish for at least over a year or a year exactly. And I'm not talking about working with apps or working alone or just reading stuff and never practicing your speaking. That's not the real way to develop your Argentinian Spanish. And then the last case we have, and of course we have many more, but in this video I would like to talk about the 3 cases which are the most common ones. And now I will talk about the new residence case. What happened with these people? As you will be a new resident, you will be living here in Argentina for the rest of your life, or maybe you will travel a lot around Argentina and different countries around the world, but you do certainly need to reach a very advanced level in Argentinian Spanish. So for this case in specific, it is indeed true that you need years to master this dialect, and you must be willing to work on your Argentinian Spanish for many years and polish every single mistake you have until you speak like a native, until you speak like me, as you will need it every single day for the rest of your life. But don't worry, I know it can certainly sound overwhelming right now to hear this, because now you realize that you will have to learn this language for many years, and maybe you're not willing to do that, but you are willing to live in Argentina for the rest of your life. Let me tell you that there's always a beginning. There's always a first step you must take in your life. So I would like to tell you the first step you must take. And what I would recommend you to start learning Argentinian Spanish the fastest way possible is either you find a teacher or you find a tutor. That's the best way you can do it. And I'm talking from experience, because English is not the only language I'm learning. I'm also talking from the experience of having taught over 50 students to learn Argentinian Spanish. If you're using apps to learn Spanish, stop working with them. Normally, apps do not have the option to learn Argentinian Spanish in specific, so it's more like a waste of time than anything. If you're studying on your own, although you can certainly know some words and read a lot and have a lot of vocabulary, very basic vocabulary in your mind, you never really practice. And this is not like learning history. A language is more like the gym. If you read a lot about the gyms and the different exercises, or if you watch a lot of videos, it does not mean that you can carry out a performance all of those hard exercises, because you must train, you must gain muscles, and then you will be able to lift at 100 kilograms or something like that. So learning Argentinian Spanish is exactly the same. Although you can be reading a lot, although you can have a lot of basic vocabulary, if you never practice or if you never speak, you will never be able to fully speak this language, and you will always get stuck every single time you try. You will never be able to reach fluency, and you will be never able to use your Argentinian Spanish during a trip. That's why the first step you must take to change your life and visiting Argentina is find a tutor or teacher and start working on your speaking skills from day one. And before finishing with this video, if you're somebody who will travel to Argentina, will be a new resident, or you would like to develop your communication in Argentinian Spanish, you can do it with my program. So in the description you have more information about it. You can just click on my webpage and there you will learn everything. Muchas gracias por ver este video y nos vemos en el canal. Chao, chao.